Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Gracious good morning to you, good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. It is Sunday morning. It is 6:23 in the a.m., and it's February 9th. I'm speaking in hushed tones because the rest of the household is asleep, and I'm in my little space doing what I do. Excuse me. Yesterday was one for the record books, folks. First, I want to address something that I've been getting a little bit of flack about. Let's be clear. I am not an accidental activist. I am talking about the things of God. And the primary thing is loving thy neighbor. The primary thing is radical inclusivity. If you think about the acts of Christ, he was radical. Okay, so all the other commentary, please spare me. I want to say Dr. King was clergy. Not that I will ever be on the level that he was as far as speaking. But Al Sharpton is clergy. Jeremiah Wright. Jamal Bryant. There was tons of clergy with King. Bishop Buddy. She's clergy. There's tons of clerics, men and women, that are speaking out against this insanity that we're seeing. Now, I don't want to say shadowed or have my video muted, so I'm just going to say this. A bunch of folks yesterday wearing bed linens and whatnot, other lovely regalia. Anywhere else it would have been called a gang. But hey, I'm good. They decided they were going to march in Ohio yesterday. And yeah, they decided they were going to march in Ohio and march in, I want to say, a black enclave, a traditionally long-standing black neighborhood, to show their power. No, folks, you mistook privilege for power. And you found out you had none. These folks were pelted. They received a prison beat down. They got the commissary two-piece. Yeah, that part. They were pelted with canned goods. Can you imagine going to the doctor and telling them, I'm trying not to laugh, that your nose was broken by a can of succotash? Yeah, you got spammed. Now, I'm getting a little risque here. You found succotash for that ass. Yeah, that part. And then people were wearing the gear that the folks showed up in, like animal pelts. I spent my day preparing my field dressing so I could carry my carcass home. That part. They got met with such a wonderful greeting that they had to call the police for protection. One of the vehicles, fortified vehicle that they showed up in, was pretty much totaled. You know that blues song, if you're looking for trouble, baby, you went to the wrong place. Which leads me to my point, y'all. I've been watching the news a little bit this morning. I've been reading the news a little bit this morning before logging on. Now, the new measure is to erase women from the history books. Yeah, that part. This is why DEI is necessary. See, you folks thought DEI only applied to black people. You mistook DEI for, what was once deemed affirmative action. But DEI applies to veterans. See, veterans had protected status for work environments. DEI applies to women. Now, the most DEI hires in that category were white women. DEI applies to people with disabilities. Yeah, that part. Then, there were the rescinding of the government grants. Now, I've seen a couple of farmers on video talking about how they're about to lose everything. You voted for your privilege and your racism. And see, you don't want to acknowledge that it's there. But now you found out with your vote. And the other piece of this is, again, you thought it was only going to happen to people of color. That's why you voted this way. And I'm here to tell you that folks of color are going to be all right. Because your brutality has already taught us how to survive. And by brutality, I mean both physical, mental, emotional, and financial. And for the folks who are claiming Christian nationalism, you need to know what you meant for our destruction. God has meant it for our good. That part. Yeah, see, you forget certain passages of Scripture when you're caught up in self-serving and self-seeking behavior. You have to go through and cherry-pick the gospel in order to support your positions. Yeah, that part. So, while the commentators of certain videos are highlighting these things and laughing, it's no laughing matter. I don't want to see anybody struggle or suffer. when it's unnecessary. I don't want to see anybody living in ignorance when it's unnecessary. You know, as we talk about Christian nations and making certain things the official, this, that, or the other, I want you to think about, you've heard me say this before, how Sunday mornings between the hours of 9 and noon are the most segregated hours during the week. And you've heard me say this as well. We want to hold on to those little 90 minutes or however long we sit in the church as being a Christian when we've done nothing other than that for the majority of our lives. We sit and listen to somebody else's interpretation. We don't study. We don't apply. And many of us only know Christ because somebody told us. But we want to wave the banner. That's like saying I play on a football team, but I never went to practice. I never played in a game. You know, I never supported beyond knowing certain names. That part right there. You know, can we all just get along? Used to be a punchline for some very bad jokes. But here I am, asking in my best Martin Lawrence what the matter is. And that is our steadfast refusal to acknowledge a power greater than ourselves. Think about what I'm saying.